Hey, how you doing? It's FIFA Euphoria, Kicking Visions. Come at your peace, subscribe for sanity, and like to love. Today we're going to talk about being spiritually aligned when you're in a relationship. Because it's a lot of us that want to find love, and it's trying to find love, and we're indigo, and we're rainbow children, and we feel like it's our twin flame. And most of us know when it's our twin flame or not. Most of us know when it's good for us. So we're gonna get into it. Okay. When I first started, like I told you once before, I was out running the streets. And my twin flame, or the person that I was with, we met each other kind of fast. I always been a relationship type. I always been the type to want love. My grandparents were married for over 40 something years. My mom and stepdad has been married for over 25 years. So I always seek to want that relationship, want that life partner, want that mate. And I was with somebody 4 years prior to me and the last woman that I was with being together. And I took my time off. I really did. I took a year and 8 months before I got into a next relationship. I took myself serious. I found out who I was even more. I found out who I was. I found out that I could be alone. And I found out that, it's not that bad. But then I met what I want to say my current. I met the woman that I'm still in love with. I'm going to tell the truth, you guys. I can't lie to you guys because we are in a no-lying zone and we're in a no-judgmental zone. So I can't lie and say I'm not still in love with her. I would be a fool if I was to say that. And when we first started, we talked for about 2 or 3 weeks, a month. Then we got together kind of quick when we met each other. A week after we got together like no time. Week after we seen each other, it was like both of us kind of knew. We really did. We both kind of knew that, hey, it's something about you that's unique. Something about you that's different. It's not the same. Then I wasn't completely ready. And I did some foul things first starting off. But she stayed around. She stayed around through my times of hustling and dealing with all different type of women. She stayed around when I got in trouble and I went to jail. She was the only, she made it her business to come see me. She made it, and I wasn't in jail for a longer stint of time. But any time in jail is a longer stint of time. I was only in jail for like 7 days. But those 7 days made me realize, and I was trying to get back with her. Those 7 days made me realize so much that this world is timeless, that only thing we have is the sun and the moon. And it's hard when you don't have that, especially when you're an indigo child. And most people that's in jail are indigos. Believe it or not, a lot of us are. We're spiritually connected. The ones that a lot of the time that we get in trouble, we see the opposite polar than what we're supposed to see. Like I told you in one of my recent videos, positive and negative. But then she stuck around. She stuck around. She stuck around through all the trials and tribulations. After that year, she moved into my granny house. It wasn't perfect then. I tried, she tried, we tried, but I wanted more. So it's kind of a cycle. I wanted more, we wanted more. I knew that we had to move out of my granny house and to go get our own house. You know, we had to get our own. So we kind of moved out. She moved out of my granny house, and then 2 months later, we got us a place. We spoken it to the universe. We know we didn't want to stay. We made a sacrifice. We got us a place. First year, I never lived with somebody. And I was naive when we first moved in, thinking that, hey, you know, I'm just going to come in when I feel. Because I wanted to get back to hustling, but I didn't. I wanted to get back to moving around the city and doing what I wanted to do. But then I realized that I got somebody that's willing to go the extent with me, willing to go the extra mile. First year, it was hard, which I put myself through I put her through a lot the very first year. I put her through a lot. I put her through a lot of different females. I put her through a lot of stuff, but she stuck around. And then in the second year, it was more of a trust issue because, hey, you know, you have to, I got my tea today. You have done these things to me. So I had to work through that. The third year, which would be this year, I start having an awakening. Like I told you, the year of us first moving in, I had got done with probation. She had assisted me with that a lot of the way. And I appreciate her so much for that. She made me know that I could be a changing man, even though I knew it already intuitively. And it's me. Nobody can change you or make you change. It's you. But I knew that she was that force to a certain extent, kept encouraging me. You doing good, babe. Kept telling me, you need to stop smoking. You know that that's not good. You know I don't want you to go to jail. Like, you know you need to stop smoking. But in this last year, being awakening and in a relationship, I can say it like this. If y'all know what the movie Glass is, the guy that's playing kind of like both sides, that has different personalities, things, and different people. Basically, I forgot the word for it. It's kind of like both by being bipolar, but I'm gonna say that it's like being bipolar. But it was like, and then I got another movie that I can say. It was like Man in Black, the second one, when Will Smith had to go find Jay, and Jay didn't remember anything. He didn't remember what his past life was. I was going through that with both of them. If you put both of them movies together, I was going through that together. I was going through feeling like, oh my God, like, I've been here before. I have dealt with this before. I'm not supposed to have one wife, in which that's ignorant. But it's not ignorant because in ancient times, when a king or pharaoh was the head, he had multiple wives. And not multiple wives in the fact of they laid together. He had multiple wives. They considered wives as partnerships. They considered, well, this branch is this, say this is the cooking wife. This is the wife that take care of the kids. This is the wife that have sex with the husband, and that's really, y'all are really together. And that would make so much sense to me, because now we're in a time of polar opposites. Like everything is and the energy right now, we're outnumbered by women. We're outnumbered by everything. So the universe would say we need to reproduce what we're going through. And I love everybody that loves love, but reproducing is very real. We have to keep reproducing. We cannot stop reproducing. We cannot. The universe tells us that every day. Like, we cannot stop reproducing. Love is love. I don't knock anybody for loving whoever, but we have to reproduce. And I used to tell her that, like, back in ancient times, I had wives. Back in times, I was a, to a certain extent, a deity. Like, I would have visions and go back to that. And then on top of that, I would have different personalities sometimes, because it was like me sitting in the chair. Like if I was Jade and I was and then everything just like snapped into me and process, and all my spirit guides would be telling me, because the universe is always talking to us, it would be telling me different things and keeping me aligned with different things, and giving me to a certain extent of how I should move, and making me watch over my shoulder more, because I was out running the streets. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'm the type that if I do something, I'm going to try my best to pay back my debts. I'm never going to try to put myself in a situation that I don't think I can get myself out of. And that's how I live, and what the code that I live by. And I didn't get to do some of the stuff that I wanted to do, but I paid back all my debts, or at least tried to give everything that I could, especially when times got rough. And for me to tell her that, and me not know what I was going through at the time, it makes it hard on your mate to understand. Just like now, just like while we broken up, and I told y'all in the first video, hey, that we are broken up because I want more out of life. Just like time before when we didn't have the apartment, I wanted more. I just didn't know how I was gonna get it. I was scared that I wasn't financially where I need to be able to help her, because I am a man. I am a man, and all men have that hunter mentality. Go out and go get it, and bring that buffalo back to the house or to the tribe, for we can all eat. No matter what's the situation, that's first in a man's mind. Bring it back home. And I had got better with talking to people, but I would always tell her that maybe we supposed to have more. Maybe we supposed to have another female. Maybe this and maybe that, because of what I was going through, and not realizing that I was snapping back into, or visiting the other side of me, visiting the ancient past of me, visiting who I was before this. I am from Horus. Who I was before this. Like, and that's difficult for anybody. And then I would be so much paranoid. And she never seen that side of me. I didn't know I was that paranoid. I didn't know that I had a sense of always looking over my shoulder, and which I do suffer from PTSD. I have had somebody walk down, cock a gun, and I was looking down the barrel and then they hit me on the side of my face. I have had somebody put a gun on my leg. And these are people that I have grew up with. So that enhanced. And being in a relationship with a woman that knows that you're not a scary guy, you're not a scary individual, knows that you're not a runner, knows that you face problems head on, that scares them. And which I realize that. I realize it even more now because, like I told you, I am getting into myself. I am knowing. But the whole thing about what I'm saying is, you guys, if y'all have a mate and y'all know, especially the indigos, if y'all know internally that y'all are supposed to be together and that this person has helped you, I understand seasons. Yes, everybody has seasons and people come in and out your life. But what's good for you, you know what's good for you. You know, you feel it deep down inside in your soul. You know that person at the end of the day gave you more sanity than they ever did evil. Gave you the truth, even if it hurt your feelings. Both ways. You know that, and now I know that it was because of the spirits and the universe aligning me to be able to go into my next step. And it can't be, I don't believe that it's with somebody else. I don't believe that we went through all of this and made all sacrifices for nothing. And that's just my personal belief. I know that I can't wait forever, but at the same time, I know that it's difficult for somebody to get all of those emotions and all of those things that I didn't know about this person. Well, I knew because I always told her in the beginning, hey, I like girls that like girls, and I would play with her. I would be serious, but I would play, and she would tell me certain things like, hey, I like girls too, like things like that. But when I woke up to who my past was, it was like, that's what we're supposed to do. And now I realize that it's not like that. We're living in modern times. I'm not living in ancient times anymore. So, you guys just stick it out with your mates. Because every time something is finna come to an end, and I'm not pushing to be in a sadistic relationship and constantly violent, constantly you having bruises or whips or anything like, no, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. But every time you give up on something, every time you're about to give up on something, something amazing happens. And I know that for a fact. Every time. So, you guys, if you know that you have had more wins in you guys' relationship than losses, I taught her how to drive. Taught her how to cook. I was in her son's life ever since a week after he turned 1. I taught him how to walk. I taught him how to talk. I taught him how to say his name. I taught him how to use the restroom. And the list goes on. She taught me how to be intuitive with myself and not be scared to be sensitive. So, not be scared, not to go get it, to understand that I can do other things than just hustle. She gave me all my music, the art is her. That's her. She's beautiful, intuitively and outside. And sometimes when we're going through the spiritual changes, I never stopped knowing that she was beautiful. But just when you're going through the spiritual changes, sometimes when you do have the upsets, and I'm a very vocal person when I'm with my mate. When you do have those upsets, you tend to see things that's not true. You tend to, especially being already paranoid, it's being scared. It's being scared to the fact of, well, damn, I'm going to lose you too because I'm losing everything else around me. And that's why I said in the first video, I kind of manifested that because I'm scared that I was going to lose the person that I truly love, the person that I truly know. And now that I done lost her to a certain extent, it is hard because I know deep down inside that I know that I can find somebody else, but I don't even think about that because I know that's not really what my heart desires. My heart desires the family that I have built. We have built each other up so high. I just want you guys to know that it's okay for the person that's not an indigo and that's going through the relationship stuff, that's with somebody that's only trying to better themselves and not hinder themselves. Just be patient with them. Just have patience. Even when you don't think you got patience, just have patience. Remember the bad times to get through those lessons, but ultimately, remember the good. Remember all the good times. Remember the good before the bad. And I'm not pushing anything on you. When you know it's not for you, it's not for you. But when you know it's for you, it is for you. So give love a opportunity. Like I said, if every time you give up or right before you finna give up, something immaculate happens. A change of events happens. So with that being said, you guys, subscribe for sanity, comment your peace, and like for love. Today we're going to have a loving, blissful, positive, surgeful, motivational day. We're not going to let anything get in our way. We're going to knock down doors, and we're going to push through currents. You guys have a blessed, wonderful day. I love you guys. Peace, love, sanity.